Turn off this music. And hi guys, thank you for tuning in into this channel. And for I just woke up and I took shower, back to my usual place. I thought I should just make a video and update you guys on what is going on in Poland when it comes to the virus cases. So the government yesterday had made even more restrictions to make sure they contain the virus, then to stop the spread of the disease, because the number is pretty much going to be 4 digits very soon. Because I just checked more in the morning when yesterday night I was very curious when I saw the restriction. I was like, you know what, I'm going to check before I sleep and screenshot the page, and then I will see if there will be any increase of the number tomorrow. And then to my surprise, guys, I was very surprised. I woke up today and there were like 58 more cases. I'm like, it's getting like very, very serious. And I thought I should we also have to get as serious when it comes to understanding this problem and see that the problem is not their problem, it is my problem, our problem. Before this issue came into Europe and went to Africa, when it was still in China, it was seen as, it's a Chinese virus, it is a Chinese issue, and they're just checking in the news and just getting myself, updated with what is going on there. But now the issue is here, like it's really, now you're getting it. And I'm not saying that I am scared. It's nice that you get scared, so you adhere to the measures, but it's just that I am getting more curious. I'm getting more, especially when you're living alone, you're like, I don't have a physical support system as how it would be if I was with my family back home, if they were here. So you just get the pressure from the media, whatever place you get the news, and then maybe watch some testimonies and CNN, BBC, whatever, and you're like inside here, and then you're getting the restrictions, and you communicate to your friend, and you're like, okay, at the end of the time, I'm here alone. I'm here in this place on my own, so I need to take care of myself very much. Anyway, so as I said, the restriction now, let me pull a page. I should read this to you guys. So it says the Polish government announces new restrictions. Before that, the restriction were like we were able to it allowed people like 50 people to just be together. Like the maximum number was 50, maximum, yeah. And then you were able to go to the bus stop and wait for the bus, and just the buses, you don't have to pull these buttons for the doors to open when you enter and go out. Now the buses had to stand in every stop, and they have to open all the doors, and when you leave, it was just that extent. But then also there are some restrictions. But yesterday then, they even imposed more restrictions. They say parks, playgrounds, forests, and riverside, they're now closed. Before that, people were going for like a walk in the park, around the park, because there's so many parks around Warsaw here. So they were going there, and you would just go there and spend and get some fresh air rather than standing in your balcony or open the window and get this air. So now there is nothing like that, and I heard there is a fine. I am not sure of how much the fine is. I have tried to check on the website. I will leave the website where I'm getting this news now, and tell me if this is a valid, a legitimate website, because also in this scenario, there's so many people out there who are producing so many information, so you may find yourself being misinformed. and then you panic. So you be very careful to know the sources of information that you have. If you don't have the valid sources, just ask people where they're getting different sources. For me, CNN, BBC, and they're like my Al Jazeera. These are my like solid sources when it comes to like worldwide news. And then back home, I would check Islamic Choosy, Jamii Forum, like my number one, Mirat Ayo, and some other small, but these are like my core news sources back home. And in Poland, I've just learned now, there's one YouTube channel that I'm following, but I think it's not like a very, 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 very serious. It's just that the guy is very smart when it comes to collecting the, like, it's not frequent, but he has very good content. And then I am following the website that I just popped. Tell me if you're here in Poland, if there are other sources that I can also check when it comes to news in Poland, so I get informed. And then it says leaving the house is prohibited, so it's even more you have to stay indoor, of which for me this is not a restriction. I mean, okay, it is a restriction because some other people cannot, like they have things that they need them to be outside, but I'm like, come on, stay at home. What are you going to do outside? We're gonna meet your friends, the time will be there. We just have to contain this issue. This is our problem, it's not their problem. It's not that some people out there are sick and they're forcing us to stay inside. No, it is you are at risk when you go out. So I'm like, I am glad that they somehow made it even more serious, and we have to stay home so that we protect ourselves. And also even the people who have the disease, they are quarantined. So I hope you understand me. So like they say, except if you need to live, you cannot not live in a group of more than 2 people. So you have to just be walking 2 people. And then I've seen also, unless if you're a family. So I think maybe also the regulation will somehow need you to prove that you're family members if you're walking more than 2 people. And then you can also go, you can just go to the grocery, you can go to pharmacy, you can go to dog walk, and if they only want few people in funeral but baptism church, like that is the maximum number. Okay, public transport must have 1 to 2 available seats empty. So you don't, when you go to the public stop, buses, public tram, metro or buses, make sure there is an empty seat or 2 empty seats. You don't stay very close to each other. And then they even banned people to stand at the bus stop. So now you don't go to the bus stop to wait for the bus as how it used to be. You just check in your map, the mobile applications for the transport, or the Google map has a very good time schedule. So you know my bus will be at the bus stop 5 minutes, in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So you leave home maybe 7 minutes before, or depending on the distance from your house to the bus stop. That is how it's supposed to be. Otherwise, they will be fined for that. Go for a walk with your family. I don't know if they allow going for a walk, maybe, but I'm not sure. Public transport might have 2, maximum 5 people. At any religious, maximum 5 people. So if there is mass in the church, funerals, baptism, etc., you can only be 5 people, not more than that. Travel is only for 3 purposes: going to work, and if you're going to work, you should have papers from your employer showing that for you it is mandatory to go to work from that hour to this hour. And also, if you're going to volunteer in place, for cases that are like, if you're going to volunteer in this virus whole related field and not something else, and also for doing necessary things that are related to everyday life. But also they highlighted about elderly people. If you're helping an elderly person outside, that is, it can be considered. So what is my take? My experience so far of being inside, and then let me highlight alone, it is somehow draining. It is draining, but you just have to be as positive as you can, and so that you keep, this is also a test on if you can be your own company, because then you don't have people around. So would you be your own company? Do you make fun, like, is it fun to be on your own? Or you depend on people for you to feel like you're alive, or whatsoever? So this is for me a very good time for you to, just embrace and be much of yourself, but also a good time to bond, just as how I said in my previous video. Because of technology, many things have been simplified, so you just make sure you also check on people, see how they're doing, and not just checking on them, giving them hope, pray for them, if whatever faith that you have. But for me, this is a concrete time of, not because we are in this whole situation, but also sometimes we are getting reminders from God that my dear sons and daughters, please turn back to me. So yeah, we should pray and just ask for God's intercession in this storm. Just remember in the Bible, when God said, even if you have faith very tiny, like a seed, your faith can move mountains. So even if you've never prayed in your life, you don't have trust, just understand that there is a supernatural power that is above everything, that can control us, the situations, these waters, the storms that we have right now, and the mountains that we are facing. We cannot move it with just our own capabilities. We can do it with the help of the superpower that we all trust in. Okay. And so what I'm also advising everyone out there is, you just adhere to these rules, restrictions that you have in your particular countries. If you're in Poland, just adhere to these people. Go out when it is very, very, very necessary. Like, just don't get. I was going out this morning. I went to empty my, the trashes, because we are living with them here, and I was like, why am I going out? But I have to take this off because people are so now you produce as many waste, because then a lot of people are home, they're cooking, they're eating, so you also have to empty the trashes. So I was like, okay, this is important, I'm gonna go home. But I don't like the whole idea of going in the elevator, taking the key, pressing the button. It's very risky opening the door. You don't know how many people have entered. So also have your essential, like the sanitizer, the mask, if it's necessary, you can have that as well. And what do I think? I think also for me, I will take a very short break when in this space, in the YouTube channel. It's not that I will stop creating. I'll be making videos for different subjects, and whenever it is very necessary for me to share anything that relates to the current situation, I will also share the video. But I just feel like I need to take a break and just be present and embrace the situation, and not because I'm lonely. That is the problem. I'm very lonely, and I just feel like I'm getting more and more lonely, and somehow I get scared. But I also remember recent podcast. I am now reading a new book, and working, so I'm keeping myself very occupied, but also I just want to be here and not so much out there. So yeah, I hope we will pass through this, guys, and please remember, everyone, see the countries where the problem has gone very, very, very fast, and we take this as a lesson for us, so that we don't get this problem in our respective countries where the numbers are still very low. But also, let's just pray for each other. And yeah, I wish you everyone, guys, take care of yourselves and your loved ones.